This lesson is Java Primitive Types Part 3, where we now show what is called narrowing as opposed to widening, where we assign higher capacity bit primitive variables or values to lower ones. In Part 1, we showed the 8 primitive types in Java, and in Part 2, we showed widening, going from low capacity primitive variables or values to higher ones. Let's start with the whole number primitive types first, and then we'll talk about the floating point to whole numbers second. When assigning a higher capacity whole number to a lower capacity whole number variable, it is reduced using what is called modulo arithmetic. For example, let's say we have a variable I declared as an int. Let's assign a value to this variable, 347. Suppose we want to convert I to a lower capacity whole number, such as a byte. We would have to use what is called an explicit cast, as described here in the parentheses. So let's view this result as output. Notice the value 91. 91 comes from 347 mod 256. And 256 is the entire storage capacity of a byte type. Let's now show narrowing from floating point variables or values to whole number variables. In addition to reduced modulo for whole numbers greater than the target integer, you also have truncation of the decimal places. Suppose we have a type double variable d, and we assign 65,777.479 to it. Let's say that we wanted to convert this to a type short. Of course, we'd have to use the explicit cast described here, as described above as well. Let's take a look at this output. We get the value 241. 241 comes from 65,777 mod 65,536, which is 2 to the 16th, which is the entire storage capacity of a type short. Now what happens if a double that we want to convert, for example, d is less than 2 to the 16th? In this case, Java doesn't use modulo division per se. It actually uses a IEEE bit standard, arithmetic standard. So let's take a look at this. We have a type double. D2 declares a type double, and we assign a value less than 2 to the 16th, so let's say 64,390, decimal 479, and we wanted to convert it to type short. So let's take a look at this output. We get a negative 1,146. This concludes our Java primitive type subseries. To learn more about Java primitive types, there are plenty of online resources that you can take a look at. There's documentation on the oracle.com site, for example here, and there's also a tutorial listed there as well. In the next videos, we will be talking about reference types.